Cost curves are heavily tested in board exams, yet students lose marks not for wrong diagrams but for incomplete answers. This video shows exactly where marks are lost. I will now take you through 5 questions from actual board exam papers. We will look at these questions exactly the way an examiner evaluates them. In this video, I will show you what to write for 2-mark and 3-mark questions. I will point out where students usually lose marks even after drawing the correct diagram. And most importantly, I will show you how to turn a correct diagram into a high-scoring board answer. Let's start with the most common question asked almost every year. This is a 2-mark question. Let's read the question carefully. Explain the shape of the MC curve. Because this is an explanation question, naming the shape alone is not enough. You should start clearly by saying that the marginal cost curve is U-shaped. Now explain why. The U shape is due to the law of variable proportions. Initially, marginal cost falls because of increasing returns to the variable factor, as your fixed factors are better utilized. After a certain level of output, MC rises due to diminishing returns to the variable factor when your fixed factors become overused. Examiners' reports show that many students either do not mention this law, or they fail to link it to the shape of the marginal cost curve. Remember, shape plus law plus reason is what earns full marks. The next question tests whether you understand how fixed costs behave graphically. Explain the shapes of total fixed cost and average fixed cost curve. Give one reason each to justify the shape of the two curves. This is a 3-mark question, so examiners expect at least 2 clear shapes and 2 clear reasons. First, total fixed cost. The TFC curve is a horizontal straight line parallel to the x-axis. Why? Because fixed cost does not change with output and must be paid even when production is 0. Next shape is average fixed cost. Now, average fixed cost is asymptotic or has a rectangular hyperbola shape, or it is downward sloping. Any feature of this shape can be given. But remember, whatever feature you are giving, you support with a justification. Let's say you write it is downward sloping. Why? This is because AFC equals fixed cost divided by output. Hence, when your output increases, the same fixed cost is spread over more units. Or if you are writing that it is asymptotic, then give the reason why it does not touch the x-axis or the y-axis. Simply because you can say that TFC is never 0. Examiners comment, they say that candidates often mention the shape without justification or draw this curve, AFC curve, incorrectly, resulting in loss of marks. So you need to be careful in not making these mistakes. This is a 3-mark give reasons question. So remember, each part needs a clear reason and a conclusion. Let's start with part 1. Why do TC and TVC curves do not start from the same point? At 0 level of output, there is no variable cost incurred, so TVC starts from the origin. But total cost equals TVC plus TFC. So even when output is 0, fixed cost still exists. So TC starts above the origin from the level of total fixed cost. Now let's go to part 2. Why do ATC and AVC curves do not touch each other? This is where many students lose marks. Average total cost equals average variable cost plus average fixed cost. Since AFC is always positive and never becomes 0, ATC will be always above AVC. There will be a gap between them. This gap will continue to fall as output increases, but the two curves will never touch each other. So whenever if you are drawing these curves, make sure that there is a bigger distance, larger distance here and a smaller distance here. Examiners deduct marks when students write the formula, but they do not draw this final conclusion. So you need to be very careful. This is a 3-mark numerical question, and examiner reports show that most students answer it correctly, but marks are still lost due to avoidable mistakes. Let's first read the question carefully. You have to calculate AFC, AC, and MC. Notice all 3 values are compulsory. Missing even one means marks are deducted even if the rest is correct. So first step is we need to identify in this type of question the fixed cost. Now if you look at 0 level of output, your total cost is shown as 30. Since there is no output, it means this entire cost must be total fixed cost. So your total fixed cost becomes 30 at all levels of output. This is where many students go wrong. Okay, so you need to catch this step very carefully. After that, you calculate AFC. Now, what is AFC? Average fixed cost. It is TFC divided by output. Now, notice that at 0 output, AFC is not calculated because division by 0 is not possible or is not defined. From output 1 onwards, AFC keeps falling as output increases. Next step is to calculate AC. Now what is AC? AC is nothing but ATC. It is total cost, this total cost divided by output. Again, remember, AC is also not calculated at 0 output, and from output 1 onwards, you have to just divide TC by Q to get AC or ATC. Then we go to MC. MC is the marginal cost, which means change in total cost due to an additional unit of output. Here we will just calculate MC as difference in TC between successive output levels. Again, it is also not calculated at 0 output. Examiner reports clearly mention that some candidates lose marks by not calculating all 3 values. Usually they will miss out a value here in AFC or AC. A few candidates are also unclear about calculations at 0 level of output, where values are not 0, but they are undefined. Remember, in these type of questions, you have to first identify fixed cost. Skip averages at 0 output and never ever leave a column blank. Now comes our last question. This is also a 3-mark question. Explain the relationship between AC and MC with the help of a diagram. So this means that here also examiners expect a correct diagram and a clear explanation of this relationship. Let's first look at the diagram. When the average cost curve is falling, the MC curve, the marginal cost curve, lies below the MC curve. This is because marginal cost pulls the average down. At the minimum point of the AC curve, the MC curve cuts the AC curve. This intersection point is crucial. MC must cut AC at its minimum point, not before or after. After this point, when the AC curve starts rising, the MC curve lies above the AC curve, pulling the average up. Examiners deduct marks when students either draw the MC curve incorrectly, meaning they don't cut AC at their minimum point, or they state the points without explaining the relationship. Remember, diagram plus intersection at minimum plus correct explanation is what earns full marks. Before you move on, pause here. This is the examiner's checklist for cost curve answers. Every time you draw a cost diagram in the exam, mentally check these points. Have you mentioned the correct law? Have you explained the shape, not just named it? Have you clearly stated where the curve starts? If you used a formula, did you explain what it means? And never forget that AFC is never 0. This checklist is what turns correct diagrams into full marks. Now that you know what examiners look for, let me show you quickly how marks are actually awarded. In a typical 3-mark cost curve question, examiners don't give all marks at once. 1 mark is for a correct diagram, the right curves clearly labeled. 1 mark is for the correct law or formula like the law of variable proportions or ATC equals AVC plus AFC. And the final mark is for the logical explanation or conclusion. Exams reward structure and reasoning, not just neat graphs. Before you leave the exam hall, mentally run the examiner's checklist. Those few seconds can save a lot of marks for you. Cost curves are scoring when explained clearly. Practice the explanation, not just the diagram. All the best for your exams and keep learning smart. Want to score better? I can always help you. See you soon for the next video.